I agree because I don't think the Christopher Nolan movies are superhero movies, and I don't think they're really Batman movies. I think they're Christopher Nolan's take on Batman, but there's something else.
Oh boy, you were so wrong. Like I've never thought about kicking you off this show before until this moment. Welcome to the Skiffy and Fanny Show's Torture Cinema.
Let us rock and let us roll.
Somebody has a Nintendo. For those that are listening on the podcast later, Daniel held up the little shooty gun that you use with the Nintendo.
Pew, pew.
Yeah.
Quack, quack, quack.
I don't know why he has that, but there you go.
For my NES.
Prop comic.
You're such a nerd, and I love it. I'm Sean.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Robert.
Who's reading that, Daniel?
Oh, I completely messed that up.
That's not fair
our
to
Torture
Robert.
Cinema theme. Robert
It's a
can
whole
do it. Go ahead,
paragraph.
Robert.
You're just gonna make him
All right.
read without warning? Just Robert, read this whole ass paragraph that you've never seen before. You're welcome. All right, read my college essay
All right.
on ethics. Let's go.
I'm game. Our Torture Cinema theme for this month was bad superhero movies. So we're doing something that's not a superhero movie, but it is bad. The 1998 made-for-TV, not part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Nick Fury, agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. It stars David Hasselhoff, Lisa Rinna, Sandra Hess, Neil Roberts, Gary Chalk, Tracy Waterhouse, Tom McBeath, Ron Canada, and others, none of whom are Samuel L. Jackson. This movie has a 3.8 out of 10 on IMDb, an 18% on Rotten Tomatoes popcorn meter, and a 2.0 out of 5 on Letterboxd. This film was unlovingly selected by her Patreon supporters from a poll that was filled with nothing but pain for us. If you're not yet subscribed to our Patreon, please join and get a chance to suggest future torture for us, force it upon us by voting in upcoming polls, and even join us watching it live on Discord, all for as low as $1 a month. Yes?
Sean has changed every paragraph in the script to Robert reading now. I have no idea who's reading what.
Yeah, so for folks that don't know, in our script files, right, we have like H1, H2, and whoever's on, right? So each person has a name. So as he was reading these bits, because here in the script, it goes, my name, Daniel's name, Robert. So he's H3. And the big paragraph he started reading, which was like with all the numbers in it, right? That was actually supposed to be either mine or Daniel's, but there was no H on it. So Robert read it. Well, the thing is, the next section also is H3. So that was marked H3. So I just decided, screw it. All the next things in our script are all H3. In fact, nobody else is going to talk for the whole episode. It's all Robert the whole way down. So anyway, you want to read the next part of the script?
Okay, sure. I'm game. And stay tuned for the end of the episode for an exciting torture-related announcement for current and future Patreon supporters.
And
you want to go to the next one? All right. Okay, before we dive into this mess, let's get into what we're drinking. As always, please remember to drink responsibly. In other words, no shenanigans. All right, people?
Too late.
Too late.
All right, Daniel.
What are you drinking, Sean?
Oh, man. Oh, this is just making me so happy. Right now, I just made like a little something with just like there's a little vodka and a little bit of triple sec and mostly diet soda. I don't really drink as much as I used to because I'm an old man. And apparently it's a carcinogen and kills you. So there's that. So that's what I'm drinking. I don't know what you call that. I don't really care. It is in my Split Rock Lighthouse drink, which Paul knows exactly where that is because he's been there.
Did Paul bring that to you?
Yes. No, I bought it. I don't remember. It's not a carcinogen. Okay. Sorry. It just causes cancer. I don't know what to tell you. It's like a class 1 cancer causer. That's what the science says.
But it tastes damn good.
Well, yes. And in this reality, gosh, sometimes we need it to make it through. But anyway.
It has a taste, right?
It does have a taste. All right, Daniel, please, or we're never going to make this stupid show. What are you drinking?
So I read that Samuel L. Jackson just was filmed with as Nick Fury drinking like one of the world's most expensive and difficult to find bottles of bourbon. I did not have that bottle of bourbon, so I just went with Angel's Envy bourbon, and that's what I have. But it's fitting that others might be drinking non-alcoholic, given that David Hasselhoff is actually Nick Fury in this, because before we started recording, Sean alluded to an infamous video of David Hasselhoff that happened like a decade or so ago, if not longer. And that actually led him to sobriety. And so after that event, he actually went and got treatment and has been off the alcohol. And so if that people that need that...
Annie in chat says that was 2007.
Oh, wow. Okay, so definitely longer than
19 years ago. We're fucking old.
Yeah, we are.
Dude, no, look, so Robert... I need you to understand how old we are by the fact that we thought that was sooner than it actually was. It was barely after 9/11, and Donald Trump hadn't yet actually run for president yet. We're old people now, Daniel. It's over for us. We need to get some young people on this, because what the hell are we doing?
We do. Yeah, we do.
I'm older than you are, Sean.
New generation.
It's, yeah.
What are you drinking, Robert?
Yeah, go on. Yeah, sorry.
I just got a little Code Red, Mountain Dew.
Does the Code Red fit into like the whole like Code Red for the movie in any way of like theme of going to battle, or just what you had?
It was in the fridge.
All right. I think that's how they did this movie
Pepper.
too, actually. They just went with whatever was around.
Oh, my Lord. You're next in the
Sean,
script. No,
I'm just going. Time for you, Sean, to give us a summary of Nick Fury, agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I will, if you, Daniel, tell us what those letters mean.
I have no clue.
We're going to be here for a while, guys.
I'm a terrible Marvel person.
So here's the deal.
Do you know? Okay, Strategic Homeland Intervention, Enforcement, and Logistics Division.
Yep. There's a running joke in the current Marvel Cinematic Universe in the like handful
of first movies. It was originally law enforcement.
It's too long, is what they say. So yeah. Anyway, so this film, Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., stars the Hoff. It will make you sexually confused because you will think of him shirtless on a beach, but you will also think about your weird conspiratorial uncle who smokes too much. And so those two things would be conflicting in your mind as you're watching this. The basic premise is he gets called up out of retirement to fight the sexually confused daughter of his former enemy. And I know that sounds like a joke, but that's actually true. That is in fact literally true. She is hell-bent on basically world domination and destroying New York and getting revenge. Or as she says, revenge, as she tries to do a German accent. This is followed by much punching and sexually suggestive grinding. And then the movie ends with basically nothing meaningful being resolved, just like your confused sexual feelings. That's basically the premise, right? If we're getting specific, we've mentioned that the thing that she does is kidnap/retrieve the frozen for reasons body of her dead father, who turns out to have the secret genetic code to a super weapon in his skin, blood, whatever. And so they use that to make the super secret weapon. Her weird brother, who's like a discount Gary Oldman, goes into New York and is going to like set off the missiles. And that gets stopped by Nick Fury's on-the-ground team in the city of New York, while Nick Fury and his other team, which include his arguably also sexually confused British rookie, basically invade the woman whose name is Viper, her compound, and then eventually defeat her. But not really, because she gets away. Oh, and also she gave an STD to Nick Fury in the form of a poison that eventually kills you. Except at the end, it turns out it doesn't matter because they had the cure all along. The end.
It was love.
Well, I don't know if I would say love is it. I think what the cure was apparently was finally Nick Fury almost apologizing for being a dick. And that's basically it. Now,
And that's
I realize people are going to hear this and go, oh, wow, this sounds like a very confusing film. And I will say the film is not remotely confusing. I am reading all of the not subtext on top of text that is in this film. And there's a lot of it. There is a lot of very weird sexual tension throughout this movie, including at the end. I have to remind people, Viper, who for whatever reason has brought her father back from the dead, even though we all thought he was dead, and they share glances and touchy in a way that a father and daughter should not. And I will leave it there.
It's a weird take on everything. And it was going to be it was a pilot for a TV series that was hoping to happen.
That's what they hoped.
So I guess it kind of makes sense that it doesn't have an end necessarily, in that you have to have next week's adventure. You have to keep it going. But I don't know. Was there a reason to freeze the Baron? Really?
No.
And
should have killed him.
What?
Incinerate
I
his
don't know if I
body.
agree with your statement that this was kind of straightforward and like what's going on or anything of text. The subtext, I would say maybe I got, but I've watched this thing twice and I still have no freaking clue what happened in it, or like what was going on, or like
okay,
what scenes were. Like it's almost like it went in my brain and just passively diffused out into the universe without my conscious processing it whatsoever.
That's the Hoff effect.
That must be it.
So the plot of this is not intelligent. It's
other than the bare bones, yeah, the basic plot's simple. That was fine, but like summarizing the movie beyond what you did, there's no way I could do. I couldn't tell you what different scenes were per se, what characters' motivations were, or anything.
Well, that's because so much of this is story that took place before the film takes place, and also a bunch of contrived plot points just so that we can have the plot we get. And that is, to be fair, this film is exactly what you'd expect of a 1990s comic book movie. It has all the it feels like a comic book. That's what it feels like.
Right. Yes.
Right, in every way.
Well,
that's valid.
It feels like a comic book, but it feels like a comic book written by people that think comic books are just a non-serious joke.
Oh, buddy, you've not read some Marvel comic books.
I haven't. I guess this is what they're like, but God,
so
they're
bad.
So
let me tell you about the first time I read the first issues of X-Men and saw, unironically, a character say, "Gee golly, what a dame," in the 1960s.
All right, yeah.
So when I
20 some years too late, yeah.
Yeah. So Marvel has smart comics, right? Like it does, obviously. But it also has some stuff that feels like it's basically written for children. Because effectively, a lot of Marvel comics, that's really who they're written for. I mean, less so today. They're a little bit more adult, I think, in the last 20 years. But so there's lots of stories that are exactly like this, right? They have like comic book logic at its most basic. And that is fun for a very specific set of individuals who may or may not have a very specific set of skills. And so I'm glad Robert got the joke. So what I'm saying is there are comics in Marvel, especially in the 80s and 90s, that feel like this. That's what they feel, including some Nick Fury runs that really do feel, or S.H.I.E.L.D. and anything with Nick Fury attached to it. I also need to correct something, because there's the joke earlier, which is that Sam Jackson is not in this movie, and I need to make a big point to you, Daniel, because you obviously don't know your comics. The original Nick Fury is in fact a white dude.
Yes.
And I'll be honest, Hasselhoff visually looks convincing as
to original Fury, yeah.
Correct. So Sam Jackson becomes Nick Fury. The rumored story supposedly is this is the story he's told. There's probably other stuff we don't know. But basically, they have the Ultimates universe, which is an alternate reality that is, I would say, the much more adult universe for the Avengers, essentially, and this cast of characters around them. There's an Ultimates X-Men as well, but it's just it's a much darker, grittier version of the universe. And that one is actually a black man. Nick Fury's a black man. And the story is that Sam Jackson saw that it's very obvious that Nick Fury is modeled after Sam Jackson. They look like spitting images. And his version of the story is that rather than sue them, he basically went to them and said, if you ever make this character, I get to play him.
Play him.
And let's be real, he would have got way less out of a lawsuit. And in fact, both parties won on this because, be real, you do not think about David Hasselhoff or anybody else playing Nick Fury. You don't even think of Nick Fury as a white man anymore. You think of him as a black man modeled after Sam Jackson. That's who you think about now.
It made sense once I had a realization, but I'll get to that later. So I vaguely knew that Nick Fury was originally white in the comics. And then once I looked it up, it was very clear. But the visual look of it made sense to me once I made other connections that I was unaware of. So before we get into things, though, you mentioned Viper's really odd German accent. And I had the same thought, but then I looked it up and she's Swiss.
That's not German.
The actress.
That's not German.
It's not German, but they speak many languages, but there's still, I thought it would have sounded a bit more convincing. Or just not as weird as it ended up.
It feels cartoonish, which is clearly what they were going for. They wanted her to be a cartoon villain with odd sexual tension.
Be over the top.
So you think the voice was even sort of played up?
I mean, look at how she chews scenery. Like, she thinks...
Oh, yeah, totally, yeah.
She thinks she's Raul Julia playing Bison. Like, that's what she thinks is happening right now. And she's not, but she's, every word is, like, enunciated, and she's like, we will get revenge on the world. Like, she's just so, like, she thinks that what's happening is Shakespeare, but the words that she's saying are more like Dr. Seuss.
Clearly not.
Yeah. And Annie's asking, were they or just a bad actress? I just want to be clear. I'm not suggesting that she's good, but she is trying to be like this over-the-top villain character. And that, I think, is why the accent sounds especially bad. I don't think we can hear... It
doesn't even sound bad. It just sounds weird, but it almost becomes like a quirk of the character. So it does work in that regard because the character's very like off-kilter and weird. And it is played up that way. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense. And it's really hard to tell, are these people not acting well or are they acting really, really well at being, cartoonish comic book characters, right?
Some of this is probably...
And I don't know, you can tell.
It's probably not 100% their fault, right? There's probably some directorial things going on, but also this is like TV film in the 90s before TV started becoming prestige. And there's a guy on YouTube called Eric Singer. He's done a bunch of stuff for Wired. I think it's Wired, where he like kind of talks about like he basically reviews actors doing dialects and all kinds of things. And he makes a point almost every episode, which is like some of these actors trying to do these accents, they often don't have enough prep time to like get the accent to sit in. And my guess is whatever they thought they were doing here, almost none of the actors in this had time for any kind of vocal training or anything. They probably got it and said, see you next week. Like, so that's probably a factor here. I don't know if the actress is a good actress. I've not seen her as far as I'm aware in anything else, but I don't know that being a good actress would have helped.
Correct.
Because I don't think there's enough prep. I mean, maybe they wouldn't have been as ridiculous, but...
Unless it's a part like you're really used to doing and are comfortable with, I guess.
Or if you're actually
that's
German.
Kind of, like if you brought like Tim Curry on to do that, right? Like Tim Curry's used to doing that kind of role, right?
No, I want him...
And so like Tim Curry
could
just go...
Yes.
He could just fit right into that with no prep at all, right?
Oh, man.
So it takes a certain kind of... That would have been
No.
Yes.
You're. I'm just imagining the scene where like it's Tim Curry underneath, as a woman with the fake mask of the like Interpol agent tricking Nick Fury up and upstairs, I'm gonna do stuff to you, and then like suddenly it turns out gives a
with
kiss
the leg and the pantyhose,
and then takes it off, and it's Tim Curry, as Frankenfurter, I would love the shit out of that.
That's the movie they need to make.
That is.
Oh, man. See, like, if you're going to do over-the-top villains, you have to have an actor who, I think, knows how to chew on that kind of dialogue and make that dialogue really sing. And I think something we've talked about before in films that we've seen with Tim Curry in them is that even if he's got really bad dialogue to work with, he can somehow make that bad dialogue feel like there's more in it. It doesn't necessarily fix whatever movie he's in, right? But, like, you don't go, Tim Curry's the reason I don't like the movie. You're like, Tim Curry's the reason why I didn't quit 2
I'm
seconds in.
still watching
Yes.
this.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Alan Rickman has the same effect too.
Yes, because the way his voice, the voice is so important. Oh man, I know Tim Curry is like retired basically, but man, I would pay so much money for that. Time machine. That's what I want the time machine for. I want to be in the room and change.
In some alternate universe out there, this exists.
Yeah.
So
We wanted to get this Swiss actor. It's like, no, you want Tim Curry. What do you mean? Tim Curry's a man. I was like, don't worry about it. Right? People will be sexually confused about this episode. You will be the start of the gay agenda.
and that is the recurring theme here, right?
Yeah.
In this movie is sexual
The gay
confusion.
agenda is the recurring theme of this movie.
No. Unknowingly, perhaps.
I mean, I'm here for it. I don't know. I don't know how the Hoff would feel about it, but, I hope he would love it. Anyway, let's get to our likes and dislikes. Robert, you have not said something in a while, so we're going to start with you. A like, please.
Okay. I love superhero stuff, love Marvel Comics, DC Comics, all that. So I'm just glad that they tried to make a Nick Fury movie, at least that early. That to me, good.
That's it?
That's it. Just the fact that they actually made it, because I didn't think I'd ever see one.
What a backhanded compliment that is.
Did you watch this when it originally came out?
Yes.
So you were one of the people that made it the fourth ranked Nielsen on the Nielsen ratings, behind reruns of other things.
Apparently so.
That's a literal statistic. It was fourth in the ratings in its time slot, behind reruns of other things.
Should have had more friends join for the viewing.
In fairness, being fourth in the Nielsen ratings ain't bad. They should have taken this to series.
I don't know if it could have supported that.
Oh no, God no! It would not have lasted past the season. No way.
Probably even just a half a season.
I feel like a half a season's enough. Like 8 to 10 episodes done.
Not go on for 7 like the later one did.
No.
No.
If
Okay.
that's actually the case, yeah. All right.
Fair enough. All right. Well, Daniel, it's up to you now.
I actually have a hard time coming up with a like for this. And I guess what I like because I wasn't going with the vibe and style of it all. My favorite part was that you have that sort of slimy guy that's running S.H.I.E.L.D. who has done bad to Nick Fury in the past and is just such an asshole. Right, he's that asshole.
Director General Pincher.
Yes, thank you, because I'm terrible with names, and I forget the name of the actor as well. But he plays the exact same type of character on Stargate SG-1. That I think at several points, Richard Dean Anderson's character like punches him or whatever, and so seeing him in this, basically playing that same character that you as the audience just love to hate this guy's guts because he's such an asshole. And you know that he's going to get his comeuppance and that it's going to come back and bite you. And so there's that fulfilling aspect to it where at the end where Nick Fury actually does punch him, where you're like, yeah, all right, he got what he deserved. I'm a sucker for enjoying those little moments. And so I loved that sort of like cosmic justice that came. Because Nick Fury is an asshole in this too, to everybody. But he's, still the hero, and he's played off as being more reasonable and responsible. And even if he's an asshole, he's doing what's necessary to actually save people, whereas this guy is being counterproductive.
Yeah, that's, I think, the key.
Right. You can have two types of assholes in the world, at least.
If you're going to be an asshole, you have to be useful.
Yeah, he's a useful asshole.
Exactly. Yeah. Like real assholes. Because in fact, your asshole is useful.
It does, yes. This is true.
Rainbow Warrior's noting in chat that like Fury in the comics is a tough guy but a jerk, right? And the idea is that kind of every version of Fury, even like the Sam Jackson Fury, right? He, he kind of, he doesn't talk to, he's not there to pep talk to you. That's not his job. Like he's a spy, right? His whole job is subterfuge and dealing with the worst of the worst. he's like grizzled and affected by all of that. But the key is that he actually knows his stuff, and the like freaking weasel leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. guy repeatedly says dumb things. And you have to ask yourself, what is the leadership structure of S.H.I.E.L.D. that this guy got picked to lead it?
Because he's more like a career politician, right?
Exactly.
He's irresponsible and not in it for others. He's in it for himself. Nick Fury is a jerk or an asshole, but he's in it for the other people at least. I guess the difference would be like Sam Jackson's version is at least infused with a little bit more compassion and heart. Like you see love in him a little more of that compassion, whereas the David Hasselhoff one, at least, and again, I don't know exactly how it corresponds to the comic version, he's almost cruel and angry. He's bitter and angry throughout this. You don't really get...
Yeah.
Like, yes, there are moments where Sam Jackson is angry, occasions where he's bitter, but that's not like his driving force for everything.
Well, no, but also the Nick Fury we get in this movie when we are introduced to him, he has been ousted from S.H.I.E.L.D. entirely and forcibly retired. And to be basically told, we've reactivated you, you got to come back. He's sort of like, you guys kicked me out. What do you want from me? Like, I don't... So I kind of get why he's a bit of a pill, because, I mean, I don't know. If you worked for an organization and you did all of this stuff, spy stuff for them, and they just unceremoniously, like, forcibly retire you, how would you feel? I feel like you'd be bitter.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to everybody, including even, like, any friends?
Okay.
I don't know. There just wasn't enough balance here, but...
You got to understand which era he comes from. He didn't have a good daddy. His daddy beat him, didn't show love, right?
Is that actually the case?
Probably.
In the comic books? No, I don't know.
I assume maladjusted adult males in any film or television show before 2010 is the consequence of like the culture of like men must be strong and we can't be vulnerable. Like John Cena doesn't exist yet. Like John Cena, big muscle man, also like hugs kids and like cries a lot. Like you know, that version of a man has not like become the dominant image of maleness.
Archetype, yeah.
So I just assume that all these maladjusted male characters had a father that was like a dick and didn't show real love because they're incapable. Well, he's incapable. Nick Fury can't, right? Even at the end when he's supposed to say, "I'm sorry, you know, I really do care about you," and like, but like, I just have all this anger and I don't know how to control it, but like, I'm sorry for being such a jerk and you were right about everything. He can't say that. He has to like, you know, like pussyfoot around the bush, you know, like he can't just say that to a woman he clearly likes and cares about. Right. A little vulnerability, bud. Come on.
But none. He doesn't even have patience for that elevator.
No.
Like
he just shoots
the elevator's giving him a bit of problems. Yeah, he like totally overreacts.
Who knew shooting the control panel would get it to work right?
Yes, exactly.
That happened twice in the movie, didn't it? He shot something else too, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that's
he's the
how
type
it then
of
works.
person.
Yes.
He's the type of guy that like when the computer doesn't work right away, he smacks it. It hopes that it works.
No, but even better, this is the security system, right? This is what's preventing people that aren't authorized to enter the area from like keeping them out. And
yeah,
so
it doesn't
you
work.
would think that would have a little better feature that you just incapacitated by shooting it.
Well, I'm supposed to do my like now.
Yes, you need to do yours.
So here's the thing. I unabashedly actually kind of love this movie because it's just stupid as shit. But it's so fun. It's so fun. And my like in this is that I didn't think when I first saw this, when I first saw this years ago, I saw David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury, and my thought was like, oh, this is going to be a shit show. And it is a shit show. But I kind of like the Hoff as Nick Fury. I do kind of like him in the role. He looks the part, right? And he feels grizzled. I love how much he just is constantly chewing on a freaking cigar. You know, like I love that image of him and the way he acts this role. He got the memo. He was like, you're playing a comic book character. You have to be the comic book character. Here's a cigar, start chewing. Right? And he did. He did precisely that. He's fun. He's just fun. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, his version of Nick Fury is dumb as balls, but that's not his fault. That is the writers. Okay? And what's funny to me is when you read about the background of this movie, the studios were like, "Oh, I don't know that David Hasselhoff, really?" And like their argument was, "Well, he's popular right now, and so like we need like a star on this film." And yeah, he was popular in the late '90s still. And you know what? Whoever thought that it was a bad casting choice is just wrong. He's just mwah. He is comic book Nick Fury. I like it.
Of everybody here, he in the movie, he is the one that's actually chewing the scenery and doing the Tim Curry kind of effect.
Yeah.
The best here. And so I will give him that. And he's making the most of an absolutely terrible script. And he's going all in on that role and the personality and the cigar. Is the cigar just a cigar, or is there more to the cigar?
No, I mean, it's about his...
I think it's just a cigar.
No. It's about his internal impotence and his inability to open up to women.
A cigar is never a cigar, right?
It's a phallic symbol. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry, I don't know if that's true.
That's fair to say about this. I could see it's not the feeling I got from it. Fun. I just got bored out of my mind. But I can see, particularly if you have read the comics, I could totally see that then. Just vibing with the utter silliness of this all, because it is a very silly movie.
Yes, of course. If you came into this expecting a good movie...
No, not by any means, but I don't think I came into it expecting it to be silly, and I didn't, other than Hasselhoff, I didn't read the silliness. I read it as just people having a very terrible script, not having any idea what to do. And so that's why it just wasn't as fun for me, but I get why I would have that reaction for you. That's fair.
I mean, of this 80s, 90s era of Marvel trying to do movies of their franchises, this is the best of the lot.
Is it better than that Captain America that they did?
100%.
Like
Which
prior?
one?
Both of them are terrible.
Both of them are. Yeah, I haven't seen them.
The Fantastic Four movie from whatever, 1994 or whatever year that is absolutely horrendous. Yes. Mostly because you realize that actually the doctor has been macking on this one girl since she was a child.
All right.
Yep. It's disgusting.
Well, here we have father-daughter,
Yeah, but they're adults, so at least
weird
there's
things.
that.
That's true.
Right?
Oh, they are
it's
now.
It's one step up. It's one step up.
Well, she's an adult. He's more of like a resuscitated frozen corpse, but...
Arguably a vampire.
So is it necrophilia then?
No, because he's still... Is it? I don't know. I was not prepared.
He's still alive. I don't think so.
I was not prepared for this.
This film doesn't go far enough in its weirdness. That was another issue, I think, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean...
For me, like I would have liked it more if it really went a lot more hardcore in its weirdness and off-kilter.
She should just be half snake.
Yeah.
You know, every shot you just see
Which
a
half?
snake tail in the background.
Snake tail. Yes.
We never see the whole snake body, right? They only shoot her from the waist up, but there's always a little fuzzy, blurred out tail in the background going, and you hear hissing randomly. That
would be closer to the plot of the G.I. Joe movie.
Yes.
But it would, the cartoon movie, that is, from like 87. But maybe it was later. She'd be part Hydra, right?
Yeah. Well, so the character Rainbow Warrior is mentioning that she's like one of the best Marvel femme fatales, and that is true. And she's one of the big villain roles, and unfortunately they just did not stick the landing with this one. And
so was the brother too, because the brother was very bland.
I can't remember, and if so, his version of the brother's not memorable.
No.
When he dies, you just forget that he was dead 10 minutes later.
Right.
Yeah.
But maybe Rainbow Warrior knows if that was a big comic character at all or no. Maybe minor.
Nobody knows.
Anyway, we should go on to dislikes, I guess.
Yeah, we should. So, Robert, what's your dislike, my friend?
Oh, there were a few to pick from, but I actually went with the creepy albino bald-looking henchmen that were in the background. They had like a dozen of them or something. What the hell were they? Were they some sort of half-finished life model decoys? I mean, they were just kind of creepy.
You know who they reminded me of? You ever seen X-Files, that episode where they go after the kid that's doing like prayer healing, where he like heals people, and there's that guy that's like burnt up and he's just wandering around all over the place? That's what it reminded me of. And I agree, Robert. What the hell are they?
I thought they were the Blue Man Group, only silver instead of blue, like the Silver Man Group.
They're the vampires from Omega Man. That's who they are.
Yes,
There you go.
Yeah,
Jeez.
There you
I
go.
just assumed they were another kind of like automaton or something, but
Nobody knows what they are. They're all like very strange beings.
they gave off big, like kitschy 1950s, 1960s sci-fi vibes. Like the kind of extras that
Yeah.
you'd see and that the villain henchman would have in those kinds of things. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get them. They don't make a whole lot of sense, and they seem like particularly terrible henchmen. The scene I'm thinking of is when they're like setting up the missiles, and the one is just bouncing the ball against the wall.
Bouncing the ball.
And it's like, I don't know, bro. Like, you know they're looking for you. Maybe stand guard. I don't know what you're doing. Oh, Lord.
they were just the Blue Man Group, only silver. They could only
just
bounce
needed some
balls
rhythm.
and play drums and
Yeah, multiple of them were there,
that's their
like,
thing.
beating on stuff. Yeah. Get some pipes and, like, get some little mallets on the top so you can get that boom, boom. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They could play some Eiffel 65. Like, come on.
All right, what was your dislike,
Uh,
Mr. Duke? Or
no, it's
Dr.
not my
Duke?
turn. It's your turn.
It's my turn. My dislike of this was that I was upset because I didn't think this classified as a superhero movie, which is why I wrote that in the script, because this to me is as I started watching it, initially, like when I heard it was done, I thought, okay, well, it could be a superhero movie. But then watching it, I was like, this is just G.I. Joe and Cobra. I had no idea that G.I. Joe and Cobra, the cartoon series in the 80s and the toy line was actually modeled, and it was originally supposed to be a spinoff of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra fighting each other, and it morphed into this. And that Nick Fury became sort of like General Flag, Duke as sort of characters for the G.I. Joe series. So I grew up on G.I. Joe. And so to me, this just felt totally like a very bland, uninteresting version of G.I. Joe, which to me isn't superhero. It's a very distinct kind of genre from that. And my dislike of it then, I guess, was that it just seemed like a bad G.I. Joe, as bad as the other live-action G.I. Joe movies they've tried to make over the years.
Well, here's where you're wrong.
All right, go.
There are two characters in this story who do, in fact, have superpowers.
Does that make it a superhero movie if you have
Yes.
superpowers? There's ESP, right? There's the character that has the... That, to me, though, isn't superhero, right? You have characters with
though.
ESP in, like, Star Trek.
Well, yeah, but, okay. Well, if that's the measure we're going by, Star Trek's not the same genre this is, though.
No, this is just, like, military action genre.
Yeah, that's S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. But yeah,
Comic
again,
book espionage.
it's comic book. I give you that, but yeah, not superhero.
Oh,
So
I'm gonna correct you in a minute, but I'm dying. Give me a second.
You're dying. Sean is so upset by what my thoughts are on this.
Yes,
that
I'm really upset
considering
because you're
this
just
superhero.
wrong.
He's just lost everything.
By your logic, Captain America the Winter Soldier is not a superhero story because most of the characters don't, in fact, have superpowers.
No, but Captain America is a superhero. Nick Fury, I would say, is not a superhero. He's just a regular military guy.
So is your argument that the main character or named character must be a superhero?
I would say yeah, because even like a Batman movie, right? That's a superhero movie.
Except there's nothing super about
Because it's
Batman.
more than just like detective or crime fighting or things like that.
Right, but there's nothing super about Batman. In fact, he is as
I mean, that's
normal.
the definition of him. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, he is as normal as Nick Fury. Nick Fury has gadgets. Batman buys gadgets and banks.
Right.
But by that logic, because Batman's the main character of any Batman movie, they're not superhero movies. And if you take specifically the Christopher Nolan Batman films, none of the characters presented there are meant to have superpowers. They're all meant to be effectively regular men with slight modifications, which would be different than like the Shoemaker film or the Tim Burton films.
I agree, because I don't think the Christopher Nolan movies are superhero movies, and I don't think they're really Batman movies. I think they're Christopher Nolan's take on Batman, but there's something else.
Oh boy, you were so wrong. Like I've never thought about kicking you off this show before until this moment. Because here's the thing. The hero part is important, right? We'll start
So
there.
G.I. Joe is superhero? Because this is no different than G.I. Joe.
This is different than G.I. Joe because there are characters in this who do in fact have powers.
That you
Just
have
not
that in
all
G.I.
of them
Joe,
do.
too.
Well, then it's potentially a superhero franchise. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I'll agree with you that, like, compared to, say, the Avengers, right, this is less super.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, 100%. And I would say, like, almost any Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. story that isn't really about dealing with supers would be generally far less in terms of its super. Like, you would probably not really say that Nick Fury by himself is, like, a superhero, except that he's larger than life and seemingly survives things he shouldn't be able to. But the way this story is structured, sure, it's very similar to like your military action film, but it also features characters who are super powered and a super villain specifically.
Yeah. The super villains, I'd say, fit that more than the heroes. But in any case, that's
certainly.
I mean, everything's on a continuum too. So there's arbitrary divisions between things regardless. But
okay, so here's what I'll say. We'll split the difference and we'll commit a fallacy right now, which is the fallacy of false compromise. And I'm just going to compromise with you that there are hero movies, there are superhero movies, and in the middle are mediocre hero movies. Or average normal hero movies, or
average,
half-ass superhero movies. Yeah. So there we go. I've committed a fallacy with you. You're welcome.
Okay. So what is your dislike other than what I just said?
My main dislike in this is it's really the villain. It'd be like the main one, but we've kind of talked about her and why I find her just so horrible. And it's just I can handle the Hoff chewing scenery and like being a cartoon character, but she's too much for me. Too much. But the thing that really bothers me in this is that there are elements of the way this plot is structured, the way it's written, that are so contrived that even before I knew this was a thing they meant to like introduce a possible TV show, I knew that was what they were doing. And the biggest one I will give to you is actually at the very, very end. They have taken over this Hydra compound, right? Von Strucker, Viper, has been taken down. She's tied down, right? She's now there. There are all of these guards in this room who very clearly are not technicians by any stretch of the imagination. They're there to do military stuff and guard shit. That's what they do, right? And we've seen them because the first time we see some of these people, they're in the beginning of the movie. And one of them gets like ganked, right? And then like has a heroic death or whatever. Mm-hmm. But in the end, the like fake alarm goes off. We're like, oh no, like the missiles are gonna launch. Oh no, we learn it's a fake alarm. What the fudge are all of the guards doing during said fake alarm? They're guards. They're not hackers. They don't have any of the abilities. Yeah. Right? That's not their training. So what do they all do? They're all dicking around, looking around for no reason, even though Nick Fury and his whole team who have actual skills are doing their thing trying to figure it out, right? And so this leads to Viper getting away. And then that is followed by Nick Fury she's like gone down inside the pod with her frozen dead father / future husband, right? And
her popsicle.
Right, her dad popsicle or whatever. And so she goes in there and she starts going down and Nick Fury sees this and he just starts banging on it. And it's like, no, get a you don't want her alive anyway. Just throw some grenades down there and kill her ass. Like, we'll be done with it. Nick Fury would kill people. Come on, this is not a... But, like, the whole plot is like, aha, see, the villain got away. We got to deal with this again. And I get that she's a really important character in Marvel, but this level of incompetence that is shown at various points in this story is the kind of incompetence that, like, actually irks me when it comes to writing these kinds of things. If you're going to write characters that get like done on them, right? Like that they fail in a mission. They need to fail in a way where it's like they could not have succeeded no matter how hard they tried because they got outsmarted or they didn't have the right tools or something. It can't be because a bunch of people were looking for lint in their navels, right? Instead of watching the villain the whole time. Because that's completely illogical and ridiculous.
Have you seen G.I. Joe trying to shoot at Cobra and how terrible they are at it? Or have you seen stormtroopers trying to shoot at, a fleeing vapor farmer, right? And so, like, to some degree, I agree what you're saying, but I'm kind of playing devil's advocate somewhat here, or curious. There's cartoon things, like a G.I. Joe cartoon has the exact same thing to it. It's for kids, though. You mentioned how the comics of Marvel was for kids,
Many of
really, and
them
the
are, yeah.
silliness of it, right? And so I could see that transition going here then if that's what they're going for. But I'll agree with you, I guess, more fully that this pilot or this movie doesn't seem to be going for let's attract a kid audience, right?
It feels like
And
the
would this
characterization is
be
more adult, yeah.
yeah, so it's like they're not I don't know, it's almost like they should go a little more adult with it or a little more kid with it. And I think I would have loved this a lot more if it had been actually more geared for the kids, because that silliness, the stuff you were talking about that you loved, that I could have gotten the connection to that childlike stuff much better, I think, if there weren't all the overriding weird sexual tensions and weirdness to it and other aspects that were very adult. So I'm kind of realizing that like your dislike in some ways is cluing me in or making me realize what those differences made for me in terms of not liking this movie.
I'll be frank with you though, even if they made this more kid oriented, these plot contrivances would still piss me off. And it's just because that's bad writing even for children.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, I get it. Like, with G.I. Joe, like, it's a cartoon, so it's meant for kids. But, like, let's be real. A lot of G.I. Joe, old G.I. Joe cartoons are just dog shit. They're not good, right? They might be kind of fun, right? And, like, look at all the cool gadgets and, like, helicopters and shit. But, like, the idea that a highly trained special forces military force could not hit the broadside of a barn with any weapon they're trained on is absolute lunacy, right? That's insane. And nobody should buy that. What should always happen, I think, is that these stories, they need to position failure as not a consequence of incompetence, unless that's like the plot we're dealing with is like these people are not good at this, which certainly stories do, and I think that's fine as long as we're all aware. But the characters represented in this are not that, right? Like Nick Fury is like a career spy, and yet he is taken in by the weird Interpol agent who is actually Viper in disguise, who is like sending him all these flirtation signals, and his dumbass.
Then we realize something's off, and it's
100%.
like well before, right? Like,
right, and I think you can't have the audience be better spies than your professional spy character.
Spy,
right? He should know. Like, he has to know these tactics, right? Because he's almost certainly sent female agents in with the deliberate intention of seducing people and messing with them. And we know that because we got Black Widow in S.H.I.E.L.D., who absolutely uses her feminine wiles to manipulate people. And so I just don't buy for a second a man who cannot share an intimate moment with a woman he actually cares about is going to be duped by some random ass Interpol agent just doing googly eyes at him and not realize this is really weird. This woman I've never met before is trying to bone me literally upstairs from our secret base where we have Arnim Zola in chains. That sounds legit. Let's get the boogie woogie on. No, bullshit. Yeah. Come on.
No, the only way that works is if it's like a parody or farce like Spaceballs or something.
Right.
That you're playing off the incompetence, right? So.
But we're supposed to believe him, right?
Right.
I don't know. If they're going to make... final thoughts. If they're going to make Nick Fury be a sexy figure, he cannot chew on as many cigars. And he needs to have like some kind of like light sexual quips that are kind of like suave. He needs to have those because just merely being David Hasselhoff, moderately fit David Hasselhoff, is not sufficient. And so...
And ridiculous, yeah.
Yes. And so my final thought and grade, so that I can shut my dumb mouth, is that I adore this. It is so much fun. At times very stupid, but it is fun. And so that's the reason that I would give this a C-. It's not good. I want to be abundantly clear. But there are torture cinema films that I have, like, we've dealt with where I was like, I don't ever want to watch this again. I have seen this 5 times. It's stupid as nutsacks. It's not smart. But there is something deeply fun about this dumb piece of crap. And so there's that. Also, it kind of made me think that David Hasselhoff might be my dad for like 5 seconds, and then I had to like deal with my actual daddy problems, unlike Viper, who never dealt with her daddy issues, and she's got, oh boy, she's a basket case. Robert.
True.
No, okay. Yeah, the movie was fun. I had enough fun with it. I've watched it a couple of times. I mean, Agent Pierce throwing off Wesley Wyndham Price vibes at the beginning there was kind of entertaining. I wonder if they went to high school together or something.
Yes.
So I go ahead and I give this one a C. C minus.
Nice. Danielle, what would you grade this?
I watched this one too many times. I believe watching anything once is, well, most anything once is worthwhile, but I shouldn't have watched it a second time. I did not have fun with it. I thought it was, again, boring as heck. And it largely because it didn't go far enough one way or another in the way it was. It needed to be a lot more like deviant and crazy and weird, or it needed to be more kid-like for me to really connect. And I had a hard time with those two things not matching up in terms of the dialogue, the acting, and the plot, and how other things were portrayed in the themes. It definitely reads like a pilot in that if you think about even shows that we love, the pilots are often shit. Right? The character, like the acting's not quite right. Some of the characters are weird. This totally has that feel to it. And so it does make me think somewhat like, had this become a series, maybe there might have been something good, like actually really good coming from this, because it's not worse than other pilots that are out there. So I don't think it works well as a movie, but as a pilot, if it had been picked up, then, maybe it's something we would be rewatching because the other ones, like, just were more cohesive in a way. But just judging this on its own as an entity, gonna have to give this a D.
All right, I've written down B+.
All right, D- now.
No, you can't do that. Although it does help with the math considerably. So
yes, that's true. D-. I was thinking about that.
It ends up being like a C-ish or D+ish, like right between those two. So there we go. That's the show. We have made our dumb jokes. People may or may not come back to watch us again. That is, who knows. So for folks who are not with us at this moment, although this may apply to you if you're so inclined, but if you're listening at home, if you would like to let us know what you thought, please send us an email at skiffyfanny@gmail.com, or if you're a member of our Patreon-only Discord page, you can go to our show discussion or movie discussion if you'd like to talk about this with other people. It is on the YouTubes. Several different YouTube channels have a version of it, so you can watch it on your own if you're so inclined, which you should do. You can also find this dumb show and all of us ridiculous people on Blue Sky, Threads, Mastodon, YouTube, whole bunch of other places. If you go to skiffyfanty.com/skiffythings, you will find those there. And we are live every Friday at 7 p.m. Central for whatever episode we happen to be doing. That is at twitch.tv/alphabetstreams. And then please, if you like this ridiculous show and you have money you don't need, go to patreon.com/skiffyfanty. We need money because we're broke. And please help us. Please. And then obviously, what? Go on.
Am I making an announcement about the whole torture cinema stuff?
Oh, are we doing that?
Or was that, I was going to. Did you not read the script?
Well, that's not there.
Sean's just skipping over stuff.
No, there's like a thing that says announce. There's nothing there. It's just a bracket.
Oh.
So sorry. Do your announcement, Daniel.
So we've mentioned it before on the show, but we are actually going to go through it with it. We are going to be doing a torture cinema redux where people from the show, both past and present, are hopefully going to be going through the entire library of torture cinema, revisiting those bad classics, and we are going to reconsider them and regrade them. And all Patreon supporters that would be able to watch the Torture Cinema Redux episodes and hear them will also have a chance to put in their own grades for those movies. And so we will basically regrade things or have a new list that corresponds to not just ours, but all the fan responses too. And part of this is because, as Sean mentioned, we need money to support making this show. It's not free. And some of our own personal money goes into it, but fans that love this show and enjoy it, please do support it. And as sort of a reward for that, of something that we'd also have fun doing, we had that idea of doing this Torture Cinema Redux. And we haven't decided what price point it would be, but for a certain, Patreon support level, you will get access to these. And get the ability to assign grades as well and take part in discussion of them.
Yeah. Okay. So we should thank our Patreon supporters. Robert, you want to start us off?
Yeah, a good thank you to Andrea the Alluring, Cameron the Chthonic, Carolyn the Benevolent, Carrie the Divine, Chris the Condescent, Dan the Transient, Daniel the Cultured, David the Debonair, JC the Jocular, Jeff the Gracious, Joseph the Jovial, Juan the Junctional, KB the Kind, Karen the Kickass, Cat the Kinematic.
I need to keep apologizing to Andrea. It's Andrea the Abiding, but we have a script file we copy from, and every time we keep copying one that has it wrong. I'm so sorry, Andrea. Please don't kill us. Please don't take away your Patreon support. We're so broke. Other folks to thank: Matthew the Magnificent, Paul the Pious, Robert the Riveting, Robin the Bold, Ryan the Resilient, Sarah A. the Sensational, Sarah E. the Sublime, Sarah O. the Rapturous. If you know any other letters, please help us get those. We want all of 26 letters in the alphabet for Sarah's. Stephen the Strange, Tari the Thorough, Tanya the Triumphant, Trish the Imperturbable, and Victor the Valiant. I am on twitch.tv/alphabet streams every Wednesday and Sunday at 6 p.m. Central if you'd like to come watch games and other shenanigans. And then if you'd like to find my stuff, SeanDuke.net for generally all that. And then if you put /Duke things on there, that's all my socials and various channels and Letterboxd and all of that good stuff.
You can find me at reading1000lives.com or Reading 1000 Lives on Blue Sky. And it's the numeral 1001,000.
I'm always hanging out on threads at RE_Junker, looking to talk comics, books, movies, TV, whatever.
Hasselhoff's nipples.
Those two.
Excellent.
2 excellent points.
Zing. And as required by the Skiffy and Fanny bylaws, I need to make this hopeful. And I will just remind folks that in this age of turmoil and strife and difficulty and the news channel being a place you don't want to spend any time, there are so many of these ridiculous 90s TV movies on YouTube that you can watch, and on Tubi and a bunch of other places. So if you are inclined to watch some of these, they're there. If you want to watch old Marvel's attempts at making movies, they exist. You can watch all of those probably on YouTube somewhere via technically not legal sources, but you don't get in trouble if they do, so whatever. So watch them and find joy in this garbage, because that's what we need to do anyways, find joy. So there you go. If you're looking for a bad time or a good time, depending on your perspective on things, this is the way to go. So on that note, hopeful ending and scene. If you want to support this show, you can go to patreon.com/skiffyandfanty or skiffyandfanty.com, our website, where you can get access to all of our fancy things. Our music comes from Holy Mole. You can support him and his work at patreon.com/holymole. Thank you for listening.